Welcome back, everybody. I know it's been a little bit of time, as you could probably see from my last video to the new BR. Jumped a little bit here for you. Had some things going on that couldn't get away from. So I apologize about that, but I want to hop back in here and go ahead and jump into the Fairyland event that started yesterday. And they finally switched this one up a little bit. They did keep the traditional top up as far as the double the diamonds for the 500 and the 200, or the $20 top up for the 2,000 diamonds. So that's cool. They still did it, but right here in this middle section is the main difference. Before there was only 4 options. You either doubled your diamonds or you dropped 50 in 1 or 2 increments to gain the main keys and the only real way to participate in this event. So I'm glad they kind of switched it up finally. And if you look here, you'll see that, you get an additional, 10 for the $15 top up, another 10 for 30, 40, 45, 60, et cetera, to add a little bit more. And on top of that, if you go over to the total top up tab, you'll notice that you'll get, quite a few more things here for you as you go through the extra top ups for you, which is kind of nice. But after doing the math based on the actual wheels, it isn't that much different, right? Before, you've probably heard for these events, I've said, you got to spend $100 if you're really going to get something. And that still kind of rings true. You could kind of get away with doing 20 a day if you started at the beginning, but you're still not going to guarantee yourself the actual prize there for you, unless you get lucky in the spins. And I know every time I've done one of these events, I've gotten more lucky than the statistical odds show for it, but that's not how I'm going to do my math, and that's not how I'm going to do my videos. So I'm going to break it down by the actual numbers based on the statistics, and the rest, will fall where it may. For a $50 top up, you're going to gain, an additional 30 keys, or red keys, or whatever they want to call them here, golden Fairyland keys. You're going to get an additional 100 yellow keys, which is nice for conversion and gaining some of the other silver coin, which is going to help you get some more resources and things like that. Maybe some fragments for your sprites. And we'll go into that in the prizes. But it's similar in the fact that if you spend 50, statistically, you're going to get about 62 of the actual gold Fairyland coins and, about 430 of the Fairyland silver. Now, I did not take into account the about 115 keys you're going to have here, basically because the strategy around it, I would personally, if I only spent 50, I would only do 20 keys a day, which would net me an additional 8 of the golden keys, so getting me another 32 throughout the event, which maximizes it. Instead of dropping 30, you wouldn't be able to make it all 4 or 5 days. But still not obviously going to net you one of the main prizes, which is kind of the whole point. So as much as it's cool that they, dropped these extra keys in here and made it a little more lucrative looking, I don't think it's that much more lucrative, and I still probably would stay away from it unless you really want to get, the Elysian that we haven't had a chance to get yet. Or want to catch up on some of the sprites or mounts. But I digress. Now, dropping $100 will gain you the ability to go ahead and get a few more. Statistically, these are right around 82 to 88. The gold currency for you when you drop $100. This one statistically is 95, so it does push you past that threshold of more than likely you're going to get the 100 you need and the additional 500 of the silver to gain whatever prize you want. Now you're probably going to end up way north of 1,500 of the silver coins, and probably somewhere between 100 to 130 of the actual gold coins here for you. Okay, so it really just depends on what you want to do with it. Under the hot sale, you will gain some other resources here for you. But nothing super crazy except for this right here. This is the first time we have seen this. Okay. I am also making an enchanting guide, which will come out later this week. And really, I don't want to get into it here, but finally, just like GT Arcade, it takes them a month to come out with the resources after they come out with the actual ability to upgrade these things. But this is the first time we've seen a medium or advanced enchanting elemental essence, okay, which is required to really take advantage of the enchanting, and I will make sure to get that video up this week so you do get a chance to watch that as well for you. But other than that, nothing super crazy here. Same Fairyland event we've seen before. They throw a few prizes in here. The only thing they started doing that you may have not seen is probably under the top up here, where you have Overlord skills. Okay, now these by far have not been available, but until the last week, and then they started throwing them out there in chests. Kind of cool, but not necessarily sold on the Overlord being an investment worthy tactic, but I could be wrong on that as well. So with that being said, looking at the Fairyland shop, if I had to go ahead and rate my prizes here in order, I do think it's nice that they're at least selling the Elysian Ferris in actual essences, not just the overall full scale prize here for you. So if you do have a few from the last event, firework event, Wheel of Fortune, whatever it is, you can add a few to your pile there. If you don't want to invest and just get a few keys here throughout the event. Same thing with Con if you haven't acquired them yet. Some of the older costumes, and I mean older within the last few months, are in here for you at the same prices you've seen before. A lot of these, as far as the mount boxes go, now they do have 5 in them, which is cool, but there's nothing new here, right? You have Infernal War Steed, which is really just the Dark Horse. Your Flame Tiger, which is personally my favorite, and nothing great. Now I still personally use Bhaskar just because Con fragments are hard to come by, but I digress on that. Really, if you don't have the Snow Sprite, make sure you grab it for 30 and 200. A 15% damage bonus is essential. Under the hot sale here, for those who want to invest a little bit, or maybe don't want a main prize but really need to start augmenting their sprites and Elysians, this is really where you're going to kind of come and pay attention to, okay? Not necessarily great, what do you want to say, cost, right? 2 gold for a Con essence, still a little overpriced in my opinion, but they did finally come out with Wings of Justice fragments, but again at 2 and 10, it's kind of in that middle, about a $50 set of augmented wings. So, do what you want, but not necessarily what I'd be going for. As far as Mythic and stones are kind of saturated at this point, in my opinion, with as many resources events they started coming out with. So I would save in your resources and just sit tight until you acquire what you need. Feathering stones, probably my favorite here because of the grouping. And if you haven't watched or paid attention to the Wing Morph grouping, you need to, because there's some serious bonuses in there that do go a long way in changing your overall BR. They definitely could still use some accessory stones and weapon stones, so definitely something to take advantage of there for 1 or 2 a piece. But other than that, nothing revolutionary here, ladies and gentlemen. I just wanted to break it down because it is a little bit different. They have came out with a couple new things here, as far as like mount skill books in here. The Overlord skills, and just changing it up a little bit as far as the top up structure goes. So with that being said, thanks everybody for tuning in. If you want to support the channel, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next episode.